Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Business and Brews show. Tonight we're talking to Christine, who runs a life insurance company. So we're going to dig right into it. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to the Business and Brews podcast, where our mission is to highlight local businesses in the Triangle area and shed light on different industries.
And we're live again. Okay. Still kind of getting used to this.
Yeah,
it is a little bit new, but welcome back, like I said. So, Christine, if you would, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name is Christine Walorz, and I'm the owner of Walorz Insurance, your local life insurance specialist.
Nice.
Hi, so Christine, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So
How's your week been, Gavin?
I don't know you're going to ask me that question.
I just had it pre-programmed.
Had a pre-program? Yeah. It's been going pretty good. Not too bad. Not too shabby. How about yours?
Oh, pretty good. Really just focusing on, my main stuff, which is, I help small businesses with phone service. So that just kind of fine-tuning my process, getting a little better with that. But also I help... I'm going to name drop here because I don't think they mind
watch out.
too
He's
much.
name dropping.
But so my company is the Bearded Veteran. And
before you name drop, I know Nick too, so you can't drop his name.
Okay, well, I can if I try really hard, but no. So the Bearded Veteran helps Mavapony Foundation out of Apex sell their stuff online. It is a new process. It is not necessarily readily available to the public because we're using some alternate channels right now, but it is being a huge success. So right now we're focused primarily on their books because what they were doing before was selling them to my company, and I'm okay with that, except they do better and they get more attention toward their cause when I help them sell and put inserts and stuff like that into the books. So They help a village in Africa with clothing, education, and medical type stuff. Nice. So what's great about it is I'm able to help them increase the amount of money that they make overall, and 100% of their proceeds goes to help the village. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's not moving as quickly as I would like, but seeing that success over the past 2 weeks now, I'm pretty happy with it.
Good. And how's your week been, Christine? Can't leave you out of this equation.
I actually just got back from vacation.
Oh, nice. So your week is pretty good.
Yeah, it's been good.
You go anywhere nice or?
We did. We went to a place I'd never heard of before. We went to Lake Junaluska. I don't know have you heard of it?
I've never heard of that.
I know, right? It's almost like it doesn't really exist, but it does. So it's out in the mountains, and so Lake Junaluska. It's not a real town. It's actually like a private organization. It's weird. It's like a town, but it's run by like its own little assembly / HOA. It was started by the Methodist Church back in the early 1900s. It was designed by Umstead. And yeah, now it's just, like I said, it's got its own little zip code, and it's out there by Waynesville. So out by Western Carolina.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Any secret knocks or any secret passwords or?
No, no, but it was great. It was nice to be there to support them because, like, they're not doing, as much business nowadays as they were because of the whole, with everything scaling back because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be there to support them. And we had mountain views everywhere we looked.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
That's fantastic.
It was really
great.
So go there.
Yep, absolutely. So, I guess first things first. I mean, we are Business and Brews. What are we drinking tonight?
Oh yeah, definitely. So, well, Gavin, I know you brought one. Christine actually brought one too. So
take a sip.
Gavin, I'm going to let you go first. Tell us all about this.
I guess let's see. I brought in actually it's the first one I've had from this brewing company. It's the Mason Jar Lager Company. Looks like they are out of Fuquay. They are
nice.
in Fuquay. Fuquay. Yeah. So. Yep. I know a lot of people that are not from here. I don't know how they pronounce Fuquay. I know it's a little different. So I'm doing their Luchador Mexican lager. So that's what I'm having. What about you over there, Ryan?
I got the same thing. I'm really
Good.
I'm really interested in what
Copycat.
Christine brought in. Yeah, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. So Christine,
Aw.
I'm
All
trying to
right.
get.
tell
on
us.
that
I
beard
know you
status.
told us
Yes.
before we were on camera, but
You got to give like a big plug.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
first off, Mason Jar is local because I'm in Holly Springs. So Fuquay is right next door. But this is Lady in Red by Bombshell Beer Company, located in Holly Springs. And I hope they're going to watch this and see this because they're a great business. They were the first all women-owned, run brewery.
Nice.
And like I think in the country.
yeah.
So yeah, they're like trendsetters, and they're a bunch of awesome women. They have a great company, and we love Bombshell. So Lady
Nice.
in Red is what I brought. It's an amber ale.
Nice.
How is it?
It's delicious.
Nice. Well, I think this is actually more important now so than ever, just given the pandemic and how it's affected the breweries. So definitely, if you do drink beer, definitely drink local and support any of these breweries we just mentioned. I mean, because now so more than ever, it's definitely important.
Yeah.
If you want to see these guys keep doing what they do, definitely support them.
Yeah. So having talked about the breweries, I think that big sign on the wall is a dead giveaway. But we are back at TREK CBD, of course.
No. It's TREK CBD Studios.
Okay.
We talked about this.
My bad, your fault. So we are back with TREK CBD, and huge shout out to Nick and Scott for letting us hold this show
Yes.
here. For those of you who don't know, it is still in the making, but we do have another segment coming up, probably going to be put out as a separate podcast designed to help small businesses. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm really excited about it. It does have a lot more production that needs to take place, but stay tuned for that because Nick is actually heavily involved in it. So we get to see inside his head and his business that he co-founded TREK CBD. But shout out to them for letting us hold it here. So I like to say, because, I don't like to go anywhere. Getting out of the house sometimes can be a hassle. You can just go to their website. It's trekcbd.com. I have it in the notes of this episode, so all you have to do is actually click on it. If you need something, I know they focus a lot on health and wellness, so whether it's something from a pain management standpoint or anxiety or you're having trouble sleeping, TREK CBD not only helps with that stuff, but they'll also sit down and talk with you as well. I know I brought my mom up here. We came in, and there's tables off camera you can't see, and Nick just had her sit down, and he held a conversation with her, and she was having some trouble with some pain management. We were able to work through that. So it definitely took a lot of patience and a little bit of a CBD product. But now, thankfully, she's able to manage it more successfully. So I appreciate Nick for that, and I appreciate TREK CBD for what they do. So trekcbd.com for all your CBD needs.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Nick and the team there. All right. Well, it's still a good show. You ready to dive right into it?
Oh, man, am I ever. So, yeah, definitely. So, Christine, I know a handful of people in the insurance industry. So I'm curious because, every business has a little bit of their hurdles and stuff. How has this whole thing affected you and what you have going on, and what are some changes you've had to make?
Well, I'm not surprised to hear you say you know just a few people in the insurance industry because, like real estate, it's quite populated, right?
Yeah, you throw a rock, you'll hit somebody.
Yeah.
That's an industry. So I feel about other real estate.
Yep. So for me, I definitely was affected by what happened. The first month, for me personally, business came to a stop.
Yeah.
I didn't stop, but I just, didn't really know which way to turn, how to proceed. And so it was, the first 4 weeks were tough, but I have a great network of agents, and I associate with a lot of amazing people in this industry. And with their guidance and their leadership and their example, I was able to sort of pick myself up and, move forward, persevere. And really, it was because the insurance companies, so I'm an agent, so agency, the insurance companies, they had to come up with new ways for us to do business. So it was, I've got about 21 to 20, well, it'll be about 24 different companies in a few weeks, but, so I've got, about 2 dozen different companies, and I had to relearn every single one of them. How did they want us to do business now? How do we go from being face-to-face only? I was only face-to-face. That was how I had to do my business, to go virtual. So for like an old lady like me, it was a little hard to like start over and relearn everything. But then once I did, I just did a lot of training, talked to a lot of different people, followed their example, and I was able to just kind of get back to it.
Power through it.
So yeah, it's been a big relief. Big relief.
Good. I'm glad that things are on the upswing.
Yes.
And, I think it's just like any business. I mean, you kind of have to figure it out. But the people that are able to adapt and figure it out early are usually the ones that are able to succeed and pick up that business from the people that are just die hard. I'm not going to do it the new way and not going to adjust. So congrats on that.
Thanks. Needed to, right? If not, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
I know. So what, like, logistics wise, like what did you have to change in your business to kind of accommodate going from face to face, which if you're in sales, going from face to face to Zoom or FaceTime is very hard to transition from.
It was hard because my whole business was based on actually going to my clients. I would come to your home, sit across your kitchen table with you, and really help you through conversation figure out what are your needs, right? And help you with solutions that are going to meet your needs. And there's a lot of conversation that needs to happen, right? We've got a short period of time to kind of build a rapport, for me to learn what you need out of your life insurance, and then to offer you some solutions, right? And while I'm there, I'm meeting the family, seeing the kids, maybe talking to a husband and wife, or, whoever it might be, sitting down with a small business owner. But to take that away completely and go to a phone call and a Zoom, it's a lot different. It's a lot different. But I've learned to love, being on the other side of the screen. I think with the pandemic, we have to just, in this case, had to sort of just accept how it was, right, and make the best of it.
Right.
So seeing a new face across the screen was still exciting. So getting to know someone new, talking to them. I usually start with a phone call and then do a Zoom, and then and then maybe another phone call, another Zoom. But yeah, definitely it was a big change to go from sitting at a desk all day long on the computer and on the phone versus driving for like 8 hours a day maybe, and in between being at people's homes.
Right.
So it was a big change. Saved me a lot of gas money.
I'm sure.
A lot of gas money,
a lot of
less
miles
wear and
in your
tear on
car.
my car, but that also translates to less miles to deduct next year, the following year, my taxes. So it's all different.
So I know you mentioned off camera before we started you were part of a networking group.
Yeah.
So you probably know other people in the insurance industry as well, a ton of them. So
Absolutely.
what are some things, because I know you've seen your own challenges, but what are some of the challenges that you've seen other insurance agents overcoming, and what have they done to overcome
I
this?
think, a lot of the insurance agents that I associate with have a brick and mortar, where I do not. I'm mobile.
Wow.
I go to my clients.
Okay.
So to see friends in the industry have to, kind of shudder at first. Because insurance is considered essential, but suddenly people were not going out, right? They weren't going to come into your home, into your office. No one was going anywhere. So for them, I did see, some of them, it took a while. Same as it did for me, just to learn how am I going to continue my business? What changes do I have to make? They don't need to pivot, right, because they're not doing something different, right? They're staying with their insurance, but to find ways to continue to reach out to their prospects, to continue to stay connected with their clients. The biggest thing for me was when I saw on social media a lot of those agents like announcing that they're opening their doors, they're doing in-person appointments again. That was a big thing, I think, for a lot of them. A relief, probably.
I'm sure, yeah. A sign that things are starting to kind of turn around again.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
A slight glimmer of returning to normal or new normal as it would be. So, if looking back, how long have you been in the insurance business so
3
far?
years.
3 years. Okay. So you've been doing it for a while, and looking back, if you had a crystal ball and could have predicted what was going to happen, don't laugh at my crystal ball analogy.
I'm just jealous you have one and I don't have one.
Okay, well, I'll get you
I
one.
use that same analogy when I'm talking about
Yes, that's right. If you had a crystal ball, or
Talk
like
to
the
me
little.
about your crystal ball.
Yeah, that's right. If you had a crystal ball and it could see the pandemic coming in February or January, how would you have adapted or adjusted your business model, you think?
I would have bought a new laptop right away. I would have bought one of those mesh systems to increase my my service in the home, my internet. I would have learned how to use Zoom more proficiently much sooner. And I would have liked to have put in place back then, if I had a crystal ball and I knew, the new ways I was going to stay in touch with my clients, right? Because when it happened, it was more like, okay, I got to get on the phone and start calling people and just letting them know I'm here for them, checking on them. If I had known that ahead of time, I think I would have just had more systems in place for that.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Sorry, my brain wandered for a second.
Okay,
there
well,
was like a pause
there was a
there.
pause there.
So I was gonna say, I guess we should have.
Usually I can
this.
read your mind, and that
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
read it.
I
Yeah,
think
I
he was
couldn't
just
read. Yeah,
mesmerized.
No, I was
mesmerized by the
Thoughts
crystal
of
ball.
that.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, I was thinking about the cupcakes, but I kind of wanted to mention the fact that
You
not
can
only
mention it. This
not
is your
only are they
podcast.
from,
This is
well,
your show.
No, I know, but it's
This is
like
your
we
show.
were,
You can
we
do
were
it.
on a roll and we did the
It's not
follow up
scripted.
already. So
It's fine. No, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you.
Not only are they from,
It's not in your vocabulary. You can do it.
Where are they?
yeah, they're up there. So
Whoa.
we have our off-screen producer here,
The
Nick,
magic hand.
helping us out. So not only are they from, tell us, Christine.
Okay, so I brought you some chocolate cream cheese filled vanilla cupcakes from Farrowin's Chocolate Cafe.
Okay, say the name of their cafe
It's
again.
Farrowin's
Yes.
Chocolate Cafe.
And we had David on.
Yeah,
Yep,
and
the
we
owners,
had their
yeah.
owner on, so
Yes.
I was really excited about that.
Yeah.
I was too. I
Well,
was too.
They were excited that I was coming today, so David said, "Come on by and get some treats to bring to the guys."
Yeah.
And since
Look
they're
at
my
David.
favorite place to go, I was like, "Okay, I guess."
Thank
I'll
you,
go by."
David.
So we got to just tell people. So you wouldn't know it, but it's 100% gluten free. The whole facility, and they are a chocolate shop, but they also have a bakery case, and they are an amazing coffee shop too. So
Yes,
they
they
need
are.
your support right now
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
enjoy those.
And I
certainly
know
will.
they do different days, so they do, different stuff in the case. They
Yep,
do,
yep.
all they do all kinds of stuff. But he told us about it and how, it just sounds like an art form. So
It is.
Oh, yeah,
I
they
know,
are
I know we
artists,
can't see this
absolutely.
up close on the camera,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll put their website in the show
cool.
notes for the recorded.
Even
one.
on their Facebook, I don't know if you follow them on Facebook, but
I
they have
do.
some pretty crazy stuff they
Yes.
actually post on Facebook when they
Yes.
do some pretty.
David and
Looks
Joanna
so
do a great
good.
job
Yes,
with
they
the
do.
videos.
Yes.
So good.
As soon
Yes.
as you see their video pop up, you have to be like, all right, I can go there today.
Yeah.
What do I want? Do I want an eclair? Do I want a zeppeli? Do I want a cupcake?
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah,
It's all
it
good.
really is good. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean.
No, I
didn't
just
mean
felt like we were going off track for a second, but I really wanted to bring that up.
Hey man,
'cause-
this
all
is
right.
your show. You
Yeah.
can
Now
do
we
that.
Now we can go back.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
go
yeah.
back. Hey, there you
Yeah.
go. I can never tell behind that beard whether you're thinking or if you're mad or
Quite the
happy or
beard,
sad.
too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because we've talked before about having like a reunion thing or whatever.
really?
That's actually coming up.
Is it? Yeah,
So
that's right. It's
August
almost been a year.
26th was when I posted the first episode of Business and Brews.
That's
Wow.
nuts, man.
So that's coming up,
Congratulations.
and
Yeah.
and after that we're actually
So, what are you gonna get me for our anniversary?
cupcakes.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
He said without a pause.
Cupcakes, right there.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Yo, if you go back and look, we've come so far.
Yes.
Anyways, Christine, I really want to jump back into it. Thank you
Okay.
for that, though. Thank you for bringing
welcome.
those. Shout out to David for
Yay.
making them. I know those probably took forever to put together because they look super fancy.
Yes.
But Christine,
Yes.
in insurance, you said you've been in it for 3 years.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious, how did you get started? What put that itch behind
It's
the
a
ear?
good story. It's a good story. So
I like good
was,
stories. I
No,
like
it's not
it.
really, but I'll make it a good story. So I was working for the same company for 18 years. Loved my job up to a certain point. and then started not loving my job anymore. And one of my best friends had already left the same company and started her insurance business, and she just hounded me over and over and over again. It's time to leave. You need to do this. You need to do life insurance. You will love it. You've got to do it. And I was like, no, 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 no. I had a plan, kind of a planner, so I was on like this 5-year plan. My husband had gone back to school, got a new job, new career, and I wanted him to be in that career for so long before I started looking for a new job. But I just got to that point where I wasn't happy at work anymore. It was making me unhealthy. It wasn't good for my family. It wasn't good for me.
Yeah.
And so the time came. I needed to leave. My husband knew that my friend had been on me for a couple of years to do life insurance. And when I said I was going to put my resume together and go out and start interviewing, he said, well, why aren't you doing life insurance? So I said, okay. So I still did my resume, and I was still going out and, interviewing for jobs. But at the same time, I signed up to take the course, did my pre-licensing course, got everything in line. And then on my birthday, I wrote my letter of resignation. I went into work, and I said, here you go. And by the way, I still have 2 more weeks of vacation. So, yeah. So my notice was kind of like it was 2 weeks' notice, but
It really
also
wasn't,
owed me some
yeah.
vacay because I'd given it up a couple weeks prior for somebody else to take their vacation. So, yeah, it was nice. It was like a good way to celebrate my birthday.
I like
stepping
that, yeah.
out,
That's a great
leaving that
birthday gift.
behind. Yeah, it was nice. It was closed a big door. No more working for somebody else.
I'm curious. I'm very curious because I know everybody that wants to become an entrepreneur kind of has that moment like where the light bulb goes off and says, hey, wait a minute, I don't think I want to work for somebody else. Like, was it something
Yeah.
you read, something that happened, something somebody said, or just curious?
To be completely honest, all right, I'm gonna be honest here. In the beginning, I just owned a job. I was just thinking I needed a paycheck, I needed to bring in money. I was going from being the breadwinner in the family to,
Yeah.
what's next, because I was going to be relying on myself to bring in the money. But so at first it was just like job, job, job. And then I sort of had an awakening and realized that I had always kind of wanted to own my own business. My background is hospitality, and someday I figure I'll retire and own a bed and breakfast,
Oh.
something like
B&B,
that,
yeah.
right? So I've always kind of wanted to own a country store. So that's always been back there. I didn't think it would be life insurance at first, but I went from owning a job to having this light bulb go off, learning about networking versus just buying leads, creating relationships. I learned a lot from, we'll name drop again, like Joe Navarra. He taught me a lot about network marketing and referral networks and, just how to create my own warm market, because I didn't have a warm market when I started my job. So I just bought leads. And so I flipped it and realized I was going to take control. And I was going to be in
Absolutely.
control of my happiness, and I was going to be in control of my income. And that's it. The
That's
rest is
awesome.
history,
That's
I
awesome.
guess.
Oh, I'm curious. I mean, because we haven't talked about this before, I don't think, on the show. Like, what was your awakening moment, or when was your light bulb going off? I know for me, it happened to be when someone close to me passed. And during that time, I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad for the first time. And that was just like that light bulb moment. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just start to look at things completely different. Like, what was your big awakening?
So,
It took a lot because
I
you're a
don't-
big guy. It took a lot to get you up, or is that kind of what you're saying? Or
okay, so if we just go back and maybe huge maybe I'll throw this into the After Brews recorded version, but if you were to look at a picture of me from high school, I was same height, 150 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
So I was about as big as that microphone
Wow.
stand.
yeah, wow,
So I am this big because, over in Iraq or down at Fort Hood, there wasn't anything else to do except eat and go to the gym.
yeah.
And now I spend at least one day a week drinking beer. But, and the gyms are closed.
Careful,
so-
we have an anniversary coming up. Careful how you speak to me.
Yeah, definitely. But I would say, so the way I actually described it to a lot of my family and stuff is basically, in the Army when I enlisted and when I was younger, I was in for 10 years, so 18 to 28. The mistake that I feel that I made, so I wouldn't pinpoint like an awakening moment like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur or I want to do my own thing. I just always had the preconception that it was, owning my own business and being an entrepreneur was out of reach for me. I thought that was something that people just were. And I also had the misunderstanding that whatever came at me in life is what I handled, that I couldn't just go get it. And so, I would never say that 10 years in the Army was a waste, because I tried to get back in for 3 years after I got out.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
I appreciate the support. But I learned so much there. And one of the things I learned was that, when the Army says, hey, to get promoted, you got to do X, Y, and Z, that's all I had to do. So I was like, oh, snap. So if I want to own my own company and the state says I have to register and I just have to determine a product and then I sell that product and I make money, then I can just go do that. And so I wouldn't say I could pinpoint a moment, but the first, 10 years or maybe a couple of years after the Army, it was like, okay, well, whatever comes my way, that's just what I'm going to handle. I'm just going to get a job and I'm going to get paid. And if I ask for a raise and they say no, then it's, too bad. Oh, wait, I'm in more control than I thought I was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's the story of how we got this show started.
It is. It is.
It's nice to
In
be
a sense.
control.
In a sense, it is. You're absolutely right. Well, Christine, congrats for taking that leap. I'm sure that your clients that you've assisted so far, life insurance is a big piece of any financial planning or any estate planning. So I'm sure they're very thankful to have you, because just in a short period of time knowing you, I'm sure that you're a great asset to them. So
I hope so. That's the goal. That's the goal. Helping people have a secure financial future. Life insurance is definitely a piece of that pie.
it is. It is. And along that same thread, what are some of I know there's always a consultation period there when you first meet a client. What are some of the most common misconceptions or myths out there about life insurance?
Well, most people think they're too sick. Everybody, especially men, think they're too sick for life insurance. So when I meet people, like I'll even do fairs and expos and things like that. So a lot of times it's only the women that come up. On social media, it's the women that reach out. Because when I finally get to talk to the men, they just, oh, I have diabetes, or oh, I have high blood pressure, or oh, I take 3 medications. Everyone thinks they're too sick for life insurance, and that is not the case. If you can work with an agent who has the ability to shop multiple companies and, find the right fit for you. So, so I mean, heart attack, stroke, cancers, I mentioned diabetes. It's a big thing because so many people have it. Yeah. And so they think they can't get it. I've been able to cover people with MS, lupus.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's a lot, I mean, it amazes me all the time. Like I talk to somebody, and once we figure out what their needs are and start figuring out, what they need life insurance for, then I have to dig into their health, right? And sort of uncover. I have to be able to paint a picture of their health and then find the right company to cover them. That's the goal. But so many people think they're too sick. It's the number one myth.
It sounds like a very rewarding field, though. It really does.
Absolutely. I always say my tagline is like, it's your needs, your budget, your peace of mind. But really, in parentheses, it's like, it's really my peace of mind. Because, I will, I will like dance around the house. I will I get so excited. I have to update my husband all the time. Like, we just got back from vacation. I'm like, okay, I got this many people got approved while we were away. Like, this many people got covered. And it's very, very fulfilling.
That's
very
awesome.
Rewarding.
That's awesome.
It's
I mean,
great.
whatever you're able to do for a living, something that's fulfilling to you, that's the key right there.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that actually puts more years on your life. I'm sure.
We won't talk about all the stress behind the scenes, making sure those people do get covered.
I mean, definitely. I know. We were talking about my mom earlier, so just knowing that regardless of what someone's situation is, they at least can start that conversation is super important as well. So I'm curious, Christine, like, you started 3 years ago. We see, you have theoretically made it through the speed bump of said pandemic.
Yes.
So that's super exciting, and it's really important with even larger businesses. I can't name any off the top of my head, but we talked about them this last week, like huge major businesses just shutting down because of this whole thing, and you've made it through. So what are some of your long-term goals? Where do you see yourself going? in the future?
My long-term goals haven't changed because of the pandemic. I actually can see myself in the future with a brick and mortar, but I want it to be a collaboration of sorts. Like I want to fill like the life insurance seat and have a few agents, but I also want to have an independent health insurance person. I want to have an independent financial advisor, an independent, estate planning attorney, right? So to have all these people, maybe a CPA, but I sort of see this, not a co-working space or anything like that, but literally to be a company where we're all, we share one receptionist, we have, but we all have our own offices, and we can refer back and forth to each other, we can help clients together, but a place where people can get all of those different needs met. They might not need all of them, but
Right.
when I can have someone walk in the door and be my life insurance client, I always make sure my clients have wills. If they're a small business owner who, are they using a CPA? Do they have a financial advisor? So many people do not have those things in place.
Right.
So I usually leave every home, or now I shut down Zoom with at least knowing I've got a couple referrals I need to make to another small business owner to help this family, which in turn also helps that business owner. So it'd
Yeah.
be nice to
Nice.
just have that community.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, and it will be nice to have that. I mean, because those things create synergy upon themselves. I mean, and just getting caught up in that ecosystem, I'm sure that it will generate referral after referral after referral, which is something you mentioned earlier. So anything that's sales related or anything that's client service related definitely does depend on reputation and referrals. How have you been able to be successful with getting referrals and getting your name out there? Or have you done that?
Pre-pandemic, during pandemic, or both?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it changed
yes,
a little bit.
what?
Yes.
Okay, so
So let's go with pre-pandemic.
Okay, so I actually get most of my referrals through social media.
Really?
Yeah, so middle-aged women are on Facebook, and it's very often middle-aged women who are reaching out because they need life insurance. They've either let it go, or they're nearing retirement, they're starting to think ahead, or they've just bought a big house, right? And so they're trying to kind of bring their husband to the table to have this life insurance talk. So they're all on Facebook, which is great. There's still some young people on Facebook, so I work with a lot of young families as well. So I have a lot of moms and a lot of wives reach out to me. So that's great. So social media definitely works for me for life insurance referrals. And then through my networking with my referral partners and just people I've met in general through networking, getting referrals that way. I also have a few key referral relationships, with certain people, whether it's lawyers or financial advisors. So that's still working. But what changed, though, I know you said pre-pandemic, but when all of this happened, all of a sudden, the whole conversation about life insurance stopped. It just completely stopped.
You would think it would be the opposite, though.
Yeah.
At first, I'm telling you, the phone stopped ringing, the emails stopped coming, the Facebook messages, nothing. And then the only thing I would see on Facebook was people saying, I don't know why, but the people were making posts about, hey, you can't get life insurance now. And I'd be like,
Yes,
on
you
Facebook,
can.
going, no, wait, yes, you can. And I don't know, people just had these ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just, scared,
I think it's just I think it was the fear component. I mean,
Yeah, I
the
think
fear
they were
component
scared.
definitely. I think that's the thing with this pandemic is the not knowing just generates so much fear. And I think that's probably where that comes
Yeah.
from. I mean, the fear
I think
generated
it was.
just
They
these
didn't know what to do.
things that aren't true necessarily.
So in the Army, we called it the PNN, or the Private News Network. And obviously, it didn't matter. The highest rank you could enter the military as was a specialist. But that's if you had a bachelor's degree. And even if you're a specialist, everybody is a private. E1 through E4. The whole training company, you're all privates. That's it. And you have the drill sergeants. And the reason I bring this up is because somewhere, somehow, some way at the end, we're last day of training, nothing left to do. We're raking leaves because it's the fall or whatever. And somebody planted that seed. Mom and dad aren't coming. Family day is canceled. And there were two types of people. They bought it or they didn't buy it. And it spread like wildfire. So, good, bad, or ugly,
That's
middle
how it
of a
works.
pandemic, somebody goes, actually, now because of scientific research that I blah, 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 you can't get life insurance, and then people just latch on to it.
Yeah, they're taking a run with it.
It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. The PNN just
That's pretty
real world version.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not true. So let's make sure they don't
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
You can
Yes.
get life insurance.
Yeah.
Well, it's great because I just put your link in the notes so they can
Oh,
just
very
click.
cool.
So
Yeah.
they don't have to do any work.
Always, yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of show notes on this one.
I hope people use that note though. Like definitely, like I'm all about just having conversations with people. You know, it doesn't cost anything to sit down and just talk and ask those questions you're afraid to ask.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
or sit across Zoom and
Yeah.
have that conversation.
So, within this perfect life, I know everything just works out perfect and
Oh, yeah.
everything is all roses and, in this case, beer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Cupcakes and beer.
cupcakes and beer. That's right. There are never any challenges in life insurance. Your
no.
day is just perfect. Everything goes off without a hitch.
Always.
If you were facing any challenges, what would they be currently, or what are you working through currently?
Currently, going out and prospecting. You know, I can't go to, a small business and knock on the door. Because out of respect. I mean, yes, I guess now technically I can, and because I'm essential, I could, but especially in the beginning where, people, they didn't
people
want
were
people
freaking
walking
out,
in their
yeah.
store in a sense, because of germs and everything. But so prospecting was definitely different. There was no more, driving around and visiting business owners and wanting to start that conversation. So everything became phone calls.
Yeah.
Right? So that was probably the biggest difference.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
So now, and I was just working to check my app because
Uh-oh.
I realized that people
Careful,
call
you're
me.
dangerous with that thing. Careful.
I don't get the notifications, but we'll probably run a test call here at some point. So if you guys have questions, this is the moment where we would normally talk about those questions. So we receive those. There is a link in the show notes. I actually just started that a few weeks ago. So
Yeah,
you
that
can
was cool.
click on it. You can leave a message. You can ask a question. We'll answer that live on air. I am working to get out who our guests are going to be so that, maybe if you're lucky, you can get that question answered live. And even if you can't, you click on the link, you submit a question, you shoot us an email, whatever it is. I have a direct line of communication with Christine, so I can put you in touch with her. I can get the questions answered. It doesn't matter if you're looking at starting your own insurance business, becoming an independent agent, or maybe you're in need of life insurance. Of course, you can always go to her website, but you're welcome to reach out to Gavin and I as well, and we'll be happy to put you in direct touch or just get the question answered. And I'm really looking forward to the time where we get the traffic up and going, where we know who the guests are going to be, and then you and I get to answer questions live and on air.
Hey man,
That would be
you
cool.
have to take baby steps. Baby steps. We'll get there one day. But this next section is my favorite
Boy,
section.
I know what this is.
The questions we've had brewing.
She knows what this
She
is.
knows this.
Yeah, questions you've
I
been
love her
brewing.
already.
Yep.
I love. Have I said how much I love Christine? Have I said that
I
recently?
love you too. Thank
Okay. She brought us
I
cupcakes
love
and
when
beer.
people like her come on the show because they're like, I was watching the other episodes, and I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys have 17,000 followers on your Facebook page.
Well, I can't
You
even
know
count that high.
No, Facebook count.
Take your shoes off.
It's
Oh,
like
you're in sandals.
16,758. Like I saw a number pop up, but you have 17,000 followers. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I
Thank you.
checked out your business too, the Bearded Veteran. I was trying to
Yeah.
check that out. Yeah, I was kind of like,
Who
see
are
what I
who are
could
these
learn.
hammerheads?
You know,
Who are
and I know
these
you
guys?
questions brewing, but if it was time, I had questions brewing too. I came prepared just in case.
All right. Well, I guess my first question is one we just recently started asking. If you could have a beer or wine, a glass of wine with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I never have a good answer for that
Dead
question.
or alive.
Dead
So-
or
I know.
alive.
So I have
Look
to
at
be.
that.
I'm going to be all sentimental and just be like, if I could sit down with anybody right now, I would want it to be my Nana. So
Wow.
I know it's not like a business owner's
Still,
answer.
it doesn't have
something
to be
very
a business.
prolific,
It doesn't.
someone whose book I read.
No,
but,
I approve of this.
you
Yes,
know,
I do too.
okay, That's
Yes.
who I would sit down with right now.
Yes.
And
yes.
it would be a Manhattan. Have you ever
Yes.
tried one of those?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We
Definitely be a
toasted
Manhattan.
to her with
yeah.
them. One year,
Yes.
that was it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm classy enough for that.
Don't drink a Manhattan.
Yes. Yes.
No,
Ju-
go to Bombshell. Or,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and get a
We'll just do that.
That's
We'll just
way
do
better.
that.
Or,
Yes.
or another plug, you can call my friend Laura, and she's my wine pimp.
Okay.
Yes, she
that a
has
thing?
a scout.
Is that a thing?
She's mine. That's
Wait a minute. Is that something I could do? Wait a
No,
minute.
she does Scout and Cellar wine. If I knew you were a wine drinker, you should put that on your Facebook or your LinkedIn profile because I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm a wine
Oh,
drinker.
you?
So, yeah.
Okay, because it's all clean, organic wine, and it is the best, and I would have bought it.
Yeah. Ryan loves Boone's Farm, Wild Irish Rose,
you know.
that kind of stuff.
No.
I
Yeah.
don't know what you just said.
We'll get you some Scout and Cellar from my friend Laura.
My favorite company when it comes to beer or wine is Red Line.
Yeah.
Because they sell, so they're not a brewery, but they sell it, and they were the original delivery service in Raleigh for alcohol.
Ooh.
And you just walk in there, and now it's just shelves, and you can build your own 6-pack or get a bottle or whatever you want to do. Top shelf, bottom shelf, like whatever. So I go in and I get a 6-pack, but I can get 6
Oh
different
yeah, you can
ones.
mix and match.
And then
all
they
that.
do like
like that.
15% off or something if you do that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I like Red Line, and it's right by the house. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
So Christine, now for the
Yes.
most difficult question we're going to ask you.
Okay.
The next question we've
ready.
had brewing. Are you
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What do you
Bring it
like
on.
to do for fun?
Well, you're not out saving the world and giving people
Yeah,
life
that's
insurance.
Not life insurance related because
That's
I feel
not-
like that's another
She's
thing.
the anti GoFundMe page for when somebody.
I actually do that on Facebook every now and then. GoFundMe is not.
Yeah,
life
she's the
insurance.
GoFundMe killer.
Yes. So I do find life insurance very fun. And with the pandemic, another change is really it's like 24/7. I feel like I'm working all the time, which isn't good, I know, but my family's been very supportive. But anyways, what do I do for fun? It's really bad if I said my answer was networking because I love networking and we can't do networking events in person.
That is the
so
thing I
it's
miss the
bad.
most
I know,
right now. I
know.
miss
This
that
is-
so much.
this
I used to
is
go
true.
to at least one a week.
You'll have
and-
to come visit ours.
Yes, I
The
will
Holly
have to make
Springs
it
Small
out that
Business
far.
Networking
Yeah,
Group. There's another shout out.
sorry.
Come to Holly Springs.
I'm okay with that. One I went to, I would say recently, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Is because they had it at like a cafe or something,
Mm-hmm.
and there was breakfast and coffee.
Nice.
Was that Success Business Networking? I think they do that.
I couldn't tell you.
There's a couple that do breakfast.
couldn't
We don't.
tell you.
We give you the smell of beer in the morning when we meet at Bombshell, and we always have free coffee and free keg and water from Miss J in Fuquay. But yeah, I really miss networking. Like I love networking, but I like to read. When I retire someday, I'll get back to scrapbooking. I love photos and things like
awesome.
that. But
That's
yeah, just watching TV. Oh my gosh, it's so bad, I know. But like at night, my husband and I, it's like Netflix. What's the next series we're gonna watch?
That's
So,
awesome. Hey, that's a good thing. I mean, after having such stressful days, I mean, sometimes it's just good just to unplug or just go to
Yes.
another world.
Yep. Yep.
This thing's a little bit different. So along that same thread,
Okay.
what content are you currently consuming? What are you reading? What podcasts are you listening
Oh.
to? What articles are you reading?
So I am reading How Clients Buy right now, and I can't tell you who it's from, although it's in my bag, but I can never remember their names. It's a book I saw about a year ago. I was in the airport, and I saw it, and I took a picture, and I sent it to my husband. I was like, here's my next gift. Whatever event comes up, you need to buy me a gift, buy me this book. Well, he forgot. And so I literally, like a few days before Mother's Day, I think, I was like, this is what I want. So yeah, How Clients Buy, but it's not designed for people like me. Then it's really geared towards consultants, okay, that consult to large companies and how the sales cycle works. But for me, I think of myself as a consultant. Like I call myself a specialist versus an agent. But I really, part of what I do is I'm consulting with people, helping them find the right life insurance solutions for their problems. And because I believe in sort of the slower process of creating relationships, right, to get to that point where I can fulfill that need, this book, How Clients Buy, I swear it was written for me. I mean, I'm running around the house reading it to my husband because it talks about this 7-step cycle of how people end up buying from you. And it's, they're aware of you, they're aware of what you do, they, they realize, that they have a problem, like you could fit the need, all that. But it's just a cycle, and you get to that point where it's the time to buy, or it's the time to
I have to
to
pick
sell.
that up. I haven't heard of that one, but that seems like
I
a
love
very
it.
good read.
I love
That
it.
seems
It's
like a
a
very good
page
read.
turner to me, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, so.
Ryan, any good books you're reading recently?
That's a good question, man. So I feel like my answer hasn't changed. I take that back. So I just talked to a guy the other day. I can't tell you what the title is off the top of my head. So
Don't you hate that? Like
I'll look it
Yeah.
up. I'll look it up, but it's about stoicism.
Nope.
Oh, it's Ryan Holiday. It's probably The Art of Stillness. Is it The Art of Stillness?
No,
or is
but I
it,
like Ryan Holiday, so I'm
yeah.
gonna look that one up. No, it's not. But the guy was talking to me and telling me what the book was about and how to approach, problems. And you just said it with Ryan Holiday's book, The Art of Stillness. I've
Yeah.
never even heard of that, but
That's
I
awesome.
read Dan
He has
Crenshaw's book, Fortitude, and he talks about that. So as Navy SEALs, they go through something where they use the acronym SILS, or Stop, Look, Listen, Smell. And that's not only really important, but for me it's important because I'm in sales as well. And so getting into the conversation and knowing how to properly navigate it without making a knee-jerk decision or making an offhand comment,
Yeah.
it's definitely a challenge. So just being able to have kind of that roadmap in my head and know what step is next, that's something I'm really focused on right now and something that I'm really working on. So I'm probably going to look that one up,
Yeah.
but I'll get you the title of that
Yeah.
book. It has to do with stoicism, though.
I've been pretty recently. I hadn't really just discovered him. I've always known of him. This guy by the name of Cal Newport. He has 3 really good books. One is called Deep Work. The other is Digital Minimalism, and the third one is So Good They Can't Ignore You. And right now I'm
That's
like
awesome.
consuming Digital Minimalism and So Good They Can't Ignore You, and it's definitely changing my perspective on the way that I actually work throughout the day. I mean, it talks a lot about just how people are constantly always checking this and checking that and all the notifications we have during the day, and just how to actually focus in our energy on just doing one task because we're not made for multitasking. It's pretty good.
And being present.
Yeah, and being present. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. Just being present, and just the importance of being bored. It's like, some of your best ideas and some of the best principles and some of the best thoughts are when you're actually just bored, and that just having this constant companion that you're looking at all the time robs you of that, and it kind of takes away from that your mind being able to actually process those thoughts. So
Maybe not being bored, but being still.
yeah, that too. But I mean, just bored and still. But yeah, I mean, because whenever we're bored, we just whip out our phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you can never go. I mean, you can go one floor in the elevator and people are looking at their phones. It's,
So bad.
yeah,
So
it's,
true, but so bad.
It is
Yeah.
what it is. But hey, we like that because we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we
are watching them.
Yeah,
Right? Except for right now. Don't be still right now.
yes, don't be still right now. Be active.
Don't be bored.
Be dancing like Christine when she closes a client. There you go. You're gonna.
I'm excited that they have coverage.
Yes, that's right.
I can sleep good at night.
So it's called The Stoic Challenge by William B. Irvin.
See, more notes.
See?
Put it in the
Yeah,
notes.
yeah, more notes. We're gonna have a
You
pretty.
should do
big
book
show.
recommendations in your notes.
Yes. Yeah.
You could have like your guests, when
So
you
I
always ask them what they're reading, and then your own.
So I think the number one thing when it comes to the show notes is that I guess I never think that people go and like look through the whole
I
thing.
do. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I'm one of those
read
people
all
too.
the
So I think
I
you
do
need to
too,
put-
because especially before I watch it, because that kind of gives you a good idea of what it's about.
So I have been developing a system, which is great, where I put it onto, our Google Doc beforehand, and so
Yeah.
your website, your name, and I update it because then I have to go plug it in. I have to plug it into YouTube. I have to plug it into Facebook, and stuff like that. I mean, we can get more into detail in the after brews, but
Yeah, absolutely.
just setting that stuff up. And so the book recommendations and stuff like that, really just pulling them out and putting them in there. I guess if
I dig it.
people are reading them.
I dig it. That's my right impression. I dig it.
You dig it?
Sorry. The most important question that we have brewing:
Okay.
how can people find you, Christine, if they want to know more about you or want to reach out to you about life
Think
insurance?
over, knock on my door. No. So they can.
And my address is in the show notes.
So I like to give all ways that people can contact me. So they can go to my website, which is walorzinsurance.com. And luckily that will be in the notes because you can't spell it. It's right there. WALORZ insurance.com. I would love to
Absolutely.
connect on LinkedIn. It's a great way to connect. I just hit one of you up today. Oh, yes, right? We connected today. So LinkedIn, you can find me there. You can find Walorz Insurance on LinkedIn, and you can find Christine Walorz on LinkedIn. Facebook, right now it's really long. It's like Christine Walorz, independent agent. But just put in Christine Walorz, and anything that comes up just reach out that way.
Boom.
And email, can I just put my email and phone number in the links and all that?
Yeah.
Or in the notes?
Yeah.
Phone and text is great. Just
Definitely.
however.
I like it.
Carrier pigeon.
Yeah. Smoke signal. I like it. Just any way you can.
Can they send messages to me on Google My Business? I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm on there too. Find me everywhere.
I guess if the capability exists, then
We'll do it.
absolutely.
I like it.
Find
Yeah,
me.
definitely. So, of course, after this, for those who might be new to the show, we do have the After Brews coming up. So I encourage you, if you weren't planning on it, to come back during the week.
Yeah.
I believe our current scheduled time for the recorded version is 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. That's when the After Brews come out. But in the meantime, the purpose of this show and the goal is to help people. So don't be selfish. Share it with your friends. Tell your friends. If you look in the show notes, you can actually subscribe to our podcast for as little as $1 a month. Now, we have to buy beer. It's called Business and Brews. So $1 a month. As little. Okay, I take that back. I think it's 99 cents.
Yeah.
So the only other thing I know you can get for that is a cheeseburger at McDonald's. So.
No, you can get 3 packs of top ramen.
Touche, sir.
Yep.
But anyways, the goal is to help people. So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a business owner, whether you just have questions about the topic, then please like and share the video. We're on YouTube as well. If you have a preference on the platform you watch us on, the website is in the show notes. You can watch us there. Like we mentioned before, check out TREK CBD at trekcbd.com. If nothing else, you'll learn something. But you can also get the stuff delivered to your doorstep. They offer free shipping on pretty much everything on that website.
Nice.
And I
Yes,
know
it
I
is.
like that because then it just shows up and I don't have to go out and find it or buy it.
Yeah, I like it.
But definitely, I appreciate everyone who has watched our show, everyone who's seen this broadcast, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. In case you didn't know, we're on both of those. You can check it out anywhere. And, of course, as always, on Wednesday at 7 a.m., the audio version comes out. So then you can listen to it on your way to work.
I like it. Ron, you're absolutely right. Christine, thank you so much for being here. Again, if
Thank
you
you.
need any assistance with life insurance, please be sure to reach out to her. She is such an amazing person, and I'm sure that she will definitely take care of your needs. Ryan, thank you so much for being the host of this podcast /show/ what do we call it? Show. Yeah, we call it a show, not
Yeah.
podcast.